This is Stacy McKibben with the Master Communicator podcast, where CEOs, senior leaders, and C-suite executives share their advice. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best leaders know how to share their ideas concisely and quickly. Let's jump right in. Question number one. In a few sentences, please tell me who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Ellen Guthrie. I am an avid reader. I am a master gardener. I am a closeted artist, a hungry leader, and a searcher for genuine human connection. I really chase meaning and mission and strive to feel alive every day of my life. And professionally, I am an analytics manager at realtor.com in Austin, Texas, and the leader of our company's Inspiring Women Employee Resource Group.
Well, that was a great introduction. I've never had one so personally and insightful before. So thank you so much for sharing all those wonderful tidbits about yourself.
Of course.
So, as we think about leading people through change, what would you say is the thing about that? What do you love about leading people through change?
So I'm gonna take from my gardening metaphors for this one. I I derive a lot of pleasure and meaning from being the water to someone's seed. So being there to nurture people and watch that moment when they realize that the confidence and skills and gumption to do something has been inside of them the whole time. You see this kind of unfurling of internal and emotional restraints that that had been inside of them and holding them back. And if I can be that water to push those things out of the way, to have them bloom, to blossom in their creativity and innovation in ways that neither one of us could have done alone, I think that's an extraordinary moment of leadership. Water doesn't create anything by itself, it nourishes what's around it. So ultimately, I see myself as that watering can. I just want to make sure that when we're going through hard times, when we're going through change, I'm bringing out the best in people and making them understand that what they need to succeed is within themselves already. And then ultimately, seeing them start leading others and taking what they've learned to grow more flowers is the ultimate win in my book.
Yeah, you're describing for me that kind of like who you get to become, right? And I'm seeing as you're working with these folks that you see the flowers in their future. They might be seeds now, but you kind of see that potential inside of them.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a flowery emotional thing.
Sure.
It
A
can be
peach tree.
something. Yes, exactly. It can be something that has strength behind it and innovation and intelligence. Uh, and it can be connecting people to each other. If one person has this idea and one person has the resources to make it happen, that's what I just get so much pleasure out of those, making those connections and seeing that kind of growth happen, especially when people want to make meaningful, impactful change in their communities.
So as you think about that and you think about other leaders that might be out there listening right now, what piece of advice would you give to them about implementing change? Thinking about that whole inner potential that you might see within an individual.
This is easier said than done, but I really believe being decisive and taking risks and not being afraid to fail is how I show my leadership and my confidence in my leadership. I work with data primarily as an analytics manager, and I've witnessed a lot of people go through analysis paralysis, wanting more context, really thinking the answer will show itself if they get enough information and put enough effort into it, rather than sitting down and really critically thinking about what needs to happen, choosing a direction, and then not wavering. I think when you show confidence in your decisions, others sense that immediately. And that that again, that inner confidence will then be contagious, and others will have that, and others will see if she's able to lead this way without fear of failing. And if she does fail, holding yourself accountable for that, that's another important one. I think that will then influence and impact others. They will be more comfortable and confident making change. Again, it's that amplifying other voices and scooting over, making sure someone else has room to lead. yeah, and I think, again, that can bring forth the most change, just being decisive and strong and failing. I think that's okay too.
Or they say fail often, fail fast,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Bounce back, take accountability. I've seen a lot of times where
Mm.
folks fail and they fumble and they, oh, and exactly, point fingers. It wasn't me. Hold yourself accountable. Most of the time, it's not something, most of the time I say, it's not something that costs millions or billions of dollars in incidentals or in collateral. You're making change, and change does not happen overnight. And you have to make decisions that are risky in order to make the largest change.
So I've been hearing lately that leaders are having a difficult time with this whole remote leadership thing. That they got really comfortable and used to being able to do leadership by walking by and seeing people or overhearing conversations or bumping in at the water cooler. I'm curious, what's been your experience with the remote leadership? And do you have any tips that you could share with us on how to do that more effectively?
Yeah, our entire company has been working from home from mid-March of 2020, and it is extremely challenging, I think, for most of us. You're shut in this room that could be where you sleep or where you eat. And unless you can make kind of a separate place in your home where you can go to work, it's really hard to disconnect. You find yourself on your personal computer, next to your personal computer, next to your bed. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to nap? And I really have recommended, especially to my employees, making sure they have a space, even if it's just a desk or something that they can say, this is my workplace. The second I get up, I'm off of work. That's really going to help with that disconnect. I've seen a lot of pre-burnout and burnout symptoms throughout all of this, not feeling motivated, not wanting to work, to be honest. I mean, I think it's really hard, like you said, when you don't go to we have a sparkling water cooler at our office. So you don't go to the sparkling water cooler every, hour to grab a drink. Or again, when we have ping pong tables, when you can't have that impromptu ping pong game, it makes the job just about work. It kind of boils it down to, this is the work, and work isn't necessarily fun. Having a job is fun. With my employees, I have a lot more give, and I'm a lot more lax of how long I expect projects to take. I actively remind them to take time off and recharge and re-energize, even if that just means taking a day off and playing video games and not working and not thinking about that. I think that is still essential for our emotional well-being right now. And I open up as well. I tell them that I'm overwhelmed and I am anxious and I am tired, because I am, because that then opens up those conversations with them, and they feel more comfortable being open, asking for help, asking for support, and finding that balance. And again, I'll bring up fun and play. That is something that's really essential to our at office culture. And so I've incorporated that with our work from home culture as well. We get together and play internet games all the time. The Jackbox suite of
Yeah.
games and our favorite go-to. Those are so much fun. And it does allow us to connect, again, on that fun, playful way, but we can invite other people in that maybe are in different offices that we wouldn't have seen in our office anyways. And it's now this huge thing where we can make more connections instead of feeling alone and isolated.
30 seconds. Please answer this next question for me. What daily practice is most important to you as a leader?
I take long, slow mornings. If I rush in the morning, my whole day is thrown off. I'm anxious. I'm hurried, and I have pushed everything back in my morning so that I can snuggle with my dogs, have coffee in my bed. That's how I re-energize as an introverted leader, and that's where I get my energy for the rest of the day.
And I keep hearing about the morning time being so critical. It's where a lot of people start. I love that. All right, magic question number 6 for you. What other successful business leaders like yourself should be on the show? In other words, who else should we be paying attention to?
If you haven't figured this out about me, I am I know who I am. I know what ticks in my brain and what helps me become a really impactful leader. The people that I learn the most from are those that are open with their emotions and have empathy for their employees. They can connect to others. I mean, you literally can't influence others if you don't have empathy for yourself and for others around you. So I've been listening to a lot of Brene Brown. I mean, she's incredible, obviously. Emily Nagoski, she started kind of in the sex positive world, but has now bridged into burnout and professional work-life balance. Those are the type of women leaders that I gather energy and strength from. And it's all about empathy and awareness and just knowing what makes you tick and what makes you motivated so that you can help others do the same.
I love everything that you shared today. And I wish I had a whole nother segment just to talk to you, to dig on. And you know what, maybe we do a special segment just to bring you back.
I love
But,
that.
well, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm curious, if somebody wanted to reach out and introduce themselves, how might they find you?
I am on LinkedIn, Ellen Guthrie. Feel free to send me an email as well. My personal email is ellenlguthrie@gmail.com. Happy to connect in either way.
That's awesome. Well, my audience knows the link will be right beneath here so they can click on it and find you. So again, thank you so much for being on the show. I really hope you come back and do a future session with us.
Of course. Happy to
Thank
be here.
you. Yay.
Thank you.
Well, this is Stacey McKibben with the Master Communicator Podcast. For more ideas and insights, please do go check us out at www.concilioteam.com. And we look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.